Hi, Charlie.
Hello, Rufus. I like the new scrubs.
Better than the pale lime green stuff they sent us last week. Do you know, a patient actually had the cheek to ask me if I'd get him an ice cream cone and a couple of chalk ices.
What did you say to that, Rufus?
Oh, nothing. What's the point? I just added £10 to his bill.
Have you decided whether we're going to show the Olympics on the waiting room television, Rufus?
Difficult one, isn't it? If we don't, half the staff won't turn up, and if we do, it'll be well nigh impossible to prize people out of the waiting room. I suppose at least when I send someone out to go numb, they'll still be there when I'm ready for them. I sent Mrs. Sprocket out to the waiting room to give the local time to work while I saw someone who'd been fitted in the other day, and when I asked reception if they'd send her back, I was told she'd popped over the road for a coffee.
That must have held you up, Rufus.
Luckily the next patient was there, so I took him in. Then she breezes in, saying, "Is he ready for me now?" When I did get round to seeing her, she spent the first 5 minutes of her appointment moaning I'd kept her waiting.
Have you been following the coverage of the Olympic torch relay, Rufus?
Amazing, isn't it? Not content with shutting down London for a fortnight during the Olympics, they decide to inflict the maximum amount of disruption to business by parading the bloody Olympic torch all round the country for a couple of months. The BBC seems to be obsessed with it, desperately trying to whip up enthusiasm with its inane coverage. If Lord Lucan arrived in a spaceship from Mars, the BBC wouldn't report it, unless he was carrying a fucking Olympic torch.
Did you see Barry Cockcroft on the telly this morning, commenting on the OFT report on dentists misleading patients?
He's not an ordinary GDP anymore, he's just a Department of Health puppet. It's not dentists who are misleading patients, it's the government, by perpetuating the myth that all treatment can be carried out on the NHS. The media are constantly comparing the cost of an NHS root filling at £48 with the private fee of £375, which they'd love to point out is over 5 times as much. What they don't say is that it's impossible to do a fucking root filling for £48. I remember a patient who makes TV ads told me they put a smear of peanut butter on chimps' palates as their attempts to lick it off make it look like they're talking. I reckon they must do the same with Barry Cockcroft.
I see we're soon to get a new contract, Rufus.
Anything would be better than the current one. We told them it wouldn't work right from the start. I mean, who would have thought that if you paid the same for a number of fillings as you do for one, those naughty dentists would split them up between more than one course of treatment?
I think the idea was to give the Treasury control of the NHS budget for general dentistry.
They've wanted to get rid of item of service payments for as long as I can remember. It was well known that whenever a new scale of fees was introduced, any dentist worth his salt would have sorted out the items that paid well from those that didn't by 10 o'clock that morning.
Lord Howe says he wants a system in which everyone has confidence. Do you think he'll achieve that with the new contract, Rufus?
About as much chance as a blind man in a coal cellar has of pushing a pound of butter into a tiger's ear with a red-hot darning needle. Is everything all right in there, Millie?
Yeah, all sorted now. We were just trying in Mr. Fumble's crown when he suddenly decided to rinse it down the spittoon.